And one of the really great things about the pothos, because they are so hardy, if you wanted to start a plant was a multiple, you could I'm going to spend some time today talking about one of our favorite plants, and that's the pothos. My name is Kim. I'm from the Tye-Dyed plant team, and we are going to start with one of our brighter golden green pothos, which is known as a neon pothos, mostly because it is just such a bright, vibrant green, and in some cases the leaves can almost be translucent depending upon where you have this plant in your house or in your tank. Like all of the pothos, they don't want to be overwatered, probably once a week, twice a week, depending upon the environment that you have. Obviously, if you have it in a place with more direct sunlight, it's going to need a little bit more light, but you can always tell by just feeling it. And if your fingers are coming out a little bit damp, you are okay. If it's getting a little dry, and you can tell by the weight also, then it's time to water. One of the great things about the pothos is because it is so hardy, you can see this particular stalk over here is starting to branch out. And if we were to cut this and clip this off right here, I'm not going to do it, but with your little pruner, you could cut probably right here or a little bit lower. You could take this cutting and you could start your next plant. You could start it by either putting it just in water until it gets some root growing, or what I suggest is you just take a smaller pot, put some nice moisture in, take this cutting, stick it right into the dirt, and it'll start moving right along. They're just very hardy. And although their name doesn't say vine, they are very viney. So if you have a place where you'd like to have something climbing, whether it's indoors, outdoors, or in one of your tanks, the pothos is a great selection to use. And again, they come in a variety of different species, this one being neon, or the nice golden green, almost yellow. This is more of a standard pothos that you would see more frequently. It's emerald green. Just finished watering this a little while ago while it has some droplets. And that reminds me, in addition to watering, just based on the leaf structure, the pothos does like to be misted. So if you're going to water it twice a week, you might look at misting it once a week as well. Very similar in structure. You can see we have another leaf branch over here, and if we were to clip that, we could go ahead and put that into the soil and start our next cutting. A little bit of marbleization on this leaf, and let me show you that in a larger selection. You can see we have a third option here, is where we have some pothos that are marbleized or variegated. Sometimes this leaf will just grow off just based on the genetics of a plant. Sometimes you can find them which are fully and totally marbleized. Same kind of things here. If you have a piece of a branch that's coming off, you can snip it and go ahead and start it. And one of the really great things about the pothos, because they are so hardy, if you wanted to start a plant was a multiple. You could snip this marbleized leaf, you could snip one of your green leaves, you could snip one of your neon leaves, and now take all three of those and put those into a pot. And now you would have a combination pot. And the beauty of that, obviously, is that you would just have those varieties. And the colors go really good together. You can see if you had the neon and the emerald green, there's just such a great contrast there. They're very hardy, and they are climbers. They can be aggressive, but they also work well in your tanks depending upon the size of your tank. We're going to step to the other side of the store and show you a couple options of how you can use them in the tank, and where I would suggest if you're going to use it, you might just be a little bit careful. So let's go ahead and do that now. So here we are on the other side of the store taking a look at some really hardy and aggressively growing pothos, which are inside one of our green tree python tanks. It's a large tank, so we can kind of let these go. You don't have to worry that much about the care. But the great thing, if you do put it in a tank like this, it's going to grow aggressively. And if you want to go snip, sip, you've got all kinds of garden opportunities in here to grow your own. These are a little bit large leaf. You can see they're marbleized as well, as we talked about earlier. But the ones that get really big leaves are another species, the Hawaiian pothos. You can treat them the same way. You could put those into another pot if you wanted to, whether you did that alone or whether you mixed it up with some of the neon or the emerald green, and it gives a great contrast. And we're just going to bend around the corner here a moment and see some pothos in a smaller environment. These are just the emerald green pothos in here, but you can see they just grow well in virtually any environment. My only caution is if you were going to use a small tank where maybe you had some millipedes, you can certainly put the pothos in there as a background, but because they are so hardy, because they grow aggressively, they'll take over that smaller tank kind of quickly. So have your pruners ready, get it to a point where you're comfortable with it, your particular species of animal is comfortable with it, and just make sure if you have it in a smaller tank that you keep the pothos under control. Now, as we talk about pothos inside of our tanks, it's really a good practice to go ahead and look at misting them perhaps on a daily basis. Just be careful where your animal is, open it up, take your either hand mister or your pump mister, and give the leaves a good misting each day. It just helps with that humid tropical environment. A good practice to follow. Just a great plant, a viney plant, an aggressive plant, very hardy, easy to care for. Water twice a week, mist it once a week, fertilize it maybe once a month, and you'll be really, really, really happy with your pothos.